Right. Welcome once again. AllTakesValid, episode 47. As always, I go by Trill Trayy. Joined once again, riding in the Corvette with my boys Spitz or
Corvette.
SP21. And this guy over here,
No,
Vick.
no, it.
So Vick is gonna go ahead and give you guys the rundown of today's episode.
Well, nothing really happened on free agency, so we ain't really gonna talk too much about that. So
We're gonna
start off
talk
a little
about
bit
it.
free
We're gonna
agency.
talk about it.
And then we'll talk about the Giants. We're continuing off with the what moves each team needs to make, starting with free agency, which is ongoing, and then we'll be talking about the draft in terms of who they should select with their first pick. And yeah, so with that being said, we'll talk about the Giants and the 49ers. But right now, we are going to talk about the little bit, a few moves that was made in free agency. Nothing really crazy. So, Spence, you over
You
there
know
riding
what?
in the Corvette.
You know what? You know what, Trey? Go ahead and explain what happened because I feel like our fellow co-host will not say it.
Well, I can tell you what didn't happen is
Sure.
so Juju Smith-Schuster is returning to the Pittsburgh Steelers on a 1-year deal for $8 million. Okay, nothing crazy, right? Thing is, a certain team made a heavy pursuit at trying to recruit him. That being they said you guys made a heavy push. I didn't see Mahomes on Twitter tweeting to him. I ain't seen none of that. I seen Marlon Humphrey and your guys in Baltimore making a heavy push to try to, recruit him to go to the other side, as Marlon Humphrey said, to switch sides in the war.
Well, in retrospect, the Eagles offered him a multi-year deal. The Kansas City Chiefs also put their ballot in of, try to acquire the services. But also the Ravens also punched their little ticket to try to acquire his services. But sadly, I guess if I can beat them, why join them?
I didn't even think of that one, but that is true. For what? For what reason? No, so the offers he turned down is Pittsburgh is just $8 million flat. That's what it is. Supposedly, the Philadelphia Eagles offered a multi-year deal.
Yeah,
more than $8 million a year.
They were talking. They're about to throw some money at him.
Yeah, he didn't want to come to the NFC because of Tom Brady and the Bucs.
Yeah. They were about to throw money at him.
The Chiefs $8 million plus $3 million in incentives,
right?
And then the Ravens $9 million a year with $4 million in incentives. They tried to up it like,
what
come
incentive?
here, you got $1 million more.
So what would be the incentive? What would be the incentive?
I mean, it's probably catches and touch, that all that stuff. Like if you
then you're basically screwing him out of $4 million.
Yeah, because y'all don't pass the ball enough. Now Kansas City, that would have been one thing.
That would work.
I probably would have really considered that one if I was Juju. Like, KC, Baltimore, I get it though. But ultimately, in all seriousness, this kind of made sense just for the fact of how the market was. A lot of teams, and we've seen the biggest the receiver has gotten up until that point was Corey Davis, which he's going to be making 12 a year. Juju was thinking he was going to get somewhere in that 14, 15 a year range. And to be honest, while he is a quality or high end too, as I like to say, that type of money goes to number ones. I don't think anybody, even if the salary cap wasn't what it is this season, I don't see anybody would have given him that type of money per year. I don't think he was going to get that. But with it being the general offer of it being a soft market, everybody pretty much offering him in the same ballpark, what is the point to leave? if the other teams are going to give me the same thing that my original team's going to give me, maybe a little bit of difference with the incentives or whatever, I got to move, and it's only a 1 year, so I potentially am going to have to go through this again next year. Doesn't make sense. Sign the 1 year, stay Pittsburgh. Either you're going to ball out and we're going to return the loyalty and extend you long term, or once the cap improves, maybe you might get a little bit more money next year from another team and you can just go forward from there. But it doesn't make sense to go put on another jersey for maybe a year and then end up somewhere else long term. So I understood it.
For me, I understand situation, same thing. Why would you go somewhere? You're gonna only be there for a year. Why not stay with the team you've been with? Stay for a year, ball out. Who knows? Like you said, if you stay that 1 year, they might show loyalty or pay you more. Or if you ball out, now it builds your portfolio of, hey man, he was really good last season. Maybe we need to get him, and maybe that'll help you get the money that you're looking for. So all in all, makes sense. Vick?
Well, I officially believe that man Juju, he got some CTE issues. Because why else would you not want to go to the Kansas City Chiefs? I mean, you could argue about, he's going to be the third best target on that team, but
maybe
isn't he probably already going to be the same thing with Pittsburgh? I mean, and you have a potential chance of winning a Super Bowl that's going to raise your price tag than any other team, which the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's be honest. Are they going to the Super Bowl? That's not looking likely. Playoff team, possibly. But Super Bowl, KC, playing with Patrick Mahomes, if not, going to be one of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL history if he continues to be on the pace that he's at. So, I mean, to me, logically, and again, it's not being biased or anything, honestly, wasn't really crazy about if we would have got him. That'd have been great. It'd been like a Anquan Bolden, but a higher end Anquan Bolden, because at the time that we got him, he was in the latter part of his years. But still, regardless, I think the most logical place would have been to the Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, about the same price tag that the Pittsburgh Steelers were offering, but realistically, that just, to me, that seemed like the most ideal spot and a place where he could potentially win Super Bowl. But obviously he shows, you could say loyalty doesn't pay you, doesn't pay the bills. Loyalty doesn't get you championships, as you see with, Dame Lillard, Beal from the Washington Wizards. Portland, he got the bag, but I mean, he got the bag, and
we ain't give Juju the bag, so it's kind of different points.
It just to me is like,
Hey, I respect the players who want to try to keep on one jersey, because it's rare that it happens in sports.
I guess, but at the same time, how committed can you say about that? I mean, how much can you really say that he's committed to being a Pittsburgh Steelers? Because before free agency started, and there was talk about, is Juju gonna, re-sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers? And he went on to, I think it was a live video or something.
Yeah, he was on Twitch,
on Instagram, and he said, "Nah, I'm not coming back." So it's like he already basically was stating that he ain't coming back, but he's only coming back. Let's be real. He's only coming back because he wants to get another chance for another year to get, maybe, I guess, prove to everybody that he's a legitimate number one receiver, which at this moment, everybody believes he's a number two. So he's trying to prove something. But at the same time, let's be real. Chase Claypool, that boy's going to be that number one over in Pittsburgh. He's going to blow up this year. I guarantee that if I had somebody like fantasy football, Chase Claypool would be the main man. If not, what's that boy? Deontay Johnson?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like them two boys, they're gonna eat, and
they all ate last year. I'm not finna let you do that.
They all are.
Because what people fail to realize is Juju had a good season last year.
He did.
He was in the top 10
for
in
number
touchdowns.
2 receiver.
No, he was in top 10 in touchdowns for all receivers. He was in the top 10 for receptions for all receivers.
But y'all came out the gate throwing the ball, so like that's a given. You're gonna do that.
The numbers are what they are, so you can't have it both ways.
Exactly. You only run the ball like 2 times a game, so like
you can't have it both. You can't have it both ways though. He had top 10 receiver numbers.
Well, okay, if he had top 10, you're arguing that he had top 10 receiver numbers, but
he did.
At the same time, why is nobody paying him as though he is?
I don't know
exactly,
that. I'm just saying.
No, he's not that. He's not that guy. He's not the number one that he's trying to get paid.
Hey, his numbers for 4 years, they're productivity of a number one receiver.
And look, I'm not trying to say he's a scrub or anything like that, because he's definitely a baller. I've had him on my fantasy team. I believe in the man. He's a good receiver. But what he's asking for and what he's trying to get is 2 different things. So, like, again,
well, maybe next year, somebody will give him that money. Maybe one of them teams. To me, though, some of the receivers that got paid, like, okay, could he have gotten $12 million over Corey Davis to go to the Jets? Yes,
possibly.
I'm saying productivity. Is Corey Davis a one? He was a fifth. He was a top 5 draft pick. Bust.
I get that. No,
bust.
The jury's still out.
Top 5 pick, top 5 overall. He has not lived up to that at all.
You also got to think about his situation. He's in a run-heavy offense. The quarterback.
Look at AJ Brown since he's been in the league. Case closed. It's different.
He's obviously shown that he's improved since he's got Ryan Tannehill.
He's improved since AJ came over there taking all the.
But obviously, AJ, when AJ came, obviously that's when the offense started to hit a different gear,
because they had a real receiver. Yes.
Okay, but it's not just that. They had a real quarterback to say, and no shade to Marcus Mariota, but obviously you see the offense like night and day is different. AJ Brown is definitely a difference maker. He's definitely a number one.
Yeah, Corey's a 2 too. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Corey Davis is a low end one, but a possible high 2.
Nah, Juju's numbers better than his too.
But that goes back to it. You saying Juju's numbers are better? Of course they're going to be better. He's in an offense that's surrounded by, it's just a pass offense. That's what it is. We're just gonna call it what it is. It's a pass offense. They don't run the ball. Corey Davis would be lucky to have 5 attempts his way. I'll probably say 2 attempts, but that's bullshit.
My thing is, how many of those attempts is he catching though? You're just saying he's not getting attempts. What is he doing with the attempts that he does get? Because he's not catching them.
Well,
so what are you gonna say for that?
Because I haven't watched the games to say, but I know from the times that my Ravens have played the Tennessee Titans.
In the last 2 years since AJ Brown's been there. What about the other 2 years before?
Okay, you could say the same thing though. Like what I told you about Marcus Mariota, he wasn't a proven quality quarterback. He was a dual threat quarterback, but nobody
does it have to do with that man's hands.
But nobody's saying that he is.
What that got to do with Corey Davis' hands?
You see the difference when somebody has a legitimate quarterback to compare to don't have a quarterback.
Okay. Oh, I get what both of you are saying.
No, I get his point, but look at DeAndre Hopkins. He's balled with bums way worse than Mariota.
Okay,
so if you can ball, you can ball. So I don't want to hear that crap about. I don't want to hear about Mariota, so I can't catch. I'm dropping it.
But I'm not. We're not comparing him to him.
Listen.
He should be compared to him though. He was taken 5th overall in his draft class
by the Tennessee Titans with a passing offense that wasn't legitimate.
That man a bust. Corey Davis is a bust. I said it. You heard me here. That boy a bomb.
Listen. Okay, well, here's the thing.
Like Justin Blackman.
Well, we're gonna see.
Still playing.
Well, yeah, we definitely gonna see because he got to be the one now in New York. So you getting them number one corners again, like before AJ Brown was there. So I assume it's gonna be quiet for that boy.
Well,
But
anyways,
anyway.
this is not about Corey Davis. This is about Juju.
I
He
mean,
chose the wrong team.
it
He should have
segued.
went to the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, this is no bias because obviously the Ravens had the highest bid on the man. And to me, obviously, it's just a 1-year deal. Well, it says it's multiple, but it's a 1-year deal with voidable years in it. But he's obviously not committed long term to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So it is just.
Or we're not committed to him.
I think it's more so vice versa because obviously he's not really committed to y'all. He's just trying to chase that bag. He's trying to find himself in a situation where, and like we've talked about plenty of times off air, Pittsburgh typically doesn't retain, receivers. Y'all do a great job at developing receivers, but y'all do not retain receivers unless they are like, clear cut number one, like AB. He's probably one of the few receivers that y'all retain. I'm sure you can kind of.
Yeah,
well, there you go. Hines Ward before that.
Yeah,
but typically they don't retain receivers. They just grow them on trees.
We let Emmanuel Sanders walk, Mike Wallace walk. We traded Holmes. Yeah, you're right. So
and Antoine Randall.
Yeah,
we let him go too.
Yeah, I let him go. But I mean, I guess it's okay. I just feel like if you're trying to win a championship, which obviously is not showing to me that he's trying to win a championship. I wouldn't go back to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. I just had to look this up because I know I'm not tripping. This man, no, it's a mute point. This man tried to beat 112 targets in 2018. He only caught 65 of those. 69.
How much of them were catchable? you gotta look in between. Like what? Like you gotta know everything. If you're gonna come with facts,
Mick, don't give it. Mick, don't give us the skip.
So look. So he was saying
the skip answer.
No, hold on, no. Okay, so even this year with Tannehill, who you feel like is a better passer, right? 92 targets, he caught 65 still. So that seems to be like his little soft spot. Like, so he's dropping a good majority of the balls that he gets thrown his way. Man's never had 1,000 yards once.
Well, what's his production like?
What you mean? He had 5 touchdowns this year, 984 yards, and 65 catches. Which that's
solid, not a bust.
That's his best year.
Not a bust though. He's
okay.
Solid.
The year before that, 43 catches, 601 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's the number one receiver.
Before last year. Well, it's not number one, but he's definitely not a bust.
Okay, what was that? Rookie year, 375, no touchdowns, 34 catches. Okay, Rookie year, I guess you'll get a pass for that, even though we seen what Juju did his rookie year. And then Titans are 2018, 65 catches, 891, 4 touchdowns.
He's improving.
Yeah.
He's a starter. He's just not. I'm not arguing that he's a number one receiver.
He's not consistent.
I'm not arguing that he's a number one receiver. But he's getting better. He's improving.
I've watched them games. I watched him and he got he got butterfingers. That boy dropped ball.
That's all I'm saying. He's not a bust. Because I know what a bust is. That's not a bust. His production is not a bust. But compared to what he got drafted,
Parker's a bust in my eyes. There's a few of them receivers that came out around that same time.
Well, Devontae, I mean, he's had more injury issues than anything. So, I mean,
I'm injury prone.
Yeah,
I'm done with him too. He a bust. Get him off.
Yeah,
he's injury prone though, but he did.
But he's more so on the bust side just because of the fact that he's has so many injuries. Maybe he can change it around because there's been players that.
I'm gonna say maybe he just need a different seeing location.
I don't know, medical.
Yeah, what's that gonna help him?
I don't know.
All right, so we spent a lot of time on Juju and Corey Davis, but there's some other signings that happened more recently. Actually, just now, former Lions wide receiver Kenny Gallaudet finally has found a home. He is going to Big Blue, as Vick has behind his background, who we're going to talk about a little later. So something tells me they're not going to need to take a receiver at number 1 now. Or maybe you could argue they still should, but we'll get into that once we talk about the Giants.
at number 1.
Hey, Vick.
Oh yeah, they tried to get him too.
Did you know how that combo? Y'all were heavy on this one too.
Hey, look, I did not expect the Ravens to get any receivers.
But clearly they did though.
I mean, that's them. They got their hopes up.
That's 2.
Okay, but it's a 4-year deal, 72 million, up to 76 million. So I guess that's including incentives, and 40 of it is guaranteed.
So he's gonna have like at least the highest average per year annually.
Yeah, which I think he was the best receiver.
Deserving.
He's the best receiver that touched the market, being that Godwin got franchised, Robinson got franchised. I had it being Gallaudet as the next best receiver, and then it was Juju to me. Or you could argue Will Fuller in there with Juju. I feel like Juju's more available because Fuller has some injury issues. So, but that would have been a top 5 receivers that were going to hit free agency.
I think that's a good deal for Kenny Gallaudet. I don't know his annually, but he's definitely getting a good amount.
I mean, 76.
Corey Davis, I would have said that he would get paid between 8 to 12, which he got 12. What was it, 12 and a half?
Yeah,
so he got a little bit more.
Yeah,
so he got a little bit more than I thought he was gonna get. But I mean, the Jets, they need help, so I guess they're desperate. But Juju, I thought he was gonna get more than what he got.
Well, as the days kept going, the longer they sit out there, it goes this way, not that way. Typically.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. But at the same time, we seen last year with Jadeveon Clowney. The days got longer, but he stayed stern on where he wanted to stay at in terms of his price range. Even though
we must just be talking about bust today, because that's another bust.
He definitely won. He definitely won.
All right, but Kenny Gallaudet to the Giants, y'all. How y'all feel about that? You like it?
Oh,
I like it. I like it for the fact that they needed a number 1 receiver.
Yep.
I don't like it for him for the fact that I don't believe in Daniel Jones as a quarterback. Sorry.
Let me say this. I don't believe Daniel Jones as a quarterback just yet, but I do believe in Jason Garrett as offensive coordinator.
I mean, this kind of segue. Well, it's not going to segue. I'm just going to touch on it though. I don't know how much you believe in him as a coordinator when the Giants were 31st in offense last year. Just saying. But like I said, we'll do more of a deep dive when we go on to the actual. We're going to break down the Giants offseason moves in depth, so we'll get to that. I just want to kind of touch on that because that just happened as far as.
Well, I mean,
other big ones. The first one that broke right like the day after our last pod, AJ Green to the Cardinals. I guess we're just sticking in the receiver realm at this point. So, yeah, AJ Green to the Cardinals. How did y'all feel about that one?
So is the winner so far of this free agency is Cardinals and Pats?
I actually like what the Dolphins did. The Dolphins, we've quietly had a good free agency as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, AJ Green, 1-year deal, 8.5 to the Arizona Cardinals.
And didn't they get what was it? Rodney Hudson from
Rodney Hudson from the Raiders, guard.
From the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, that's a solid addition because they definitely need offensive line help.
I like to see the fact that they are trying to improve their line. So that shows
unlike Seattle.
Unlike Seattle. That shows me that they are trying to help Kyler Murray. So
speaking of Seattle, of their running back Carson, he's back.
Oh yeah, he resigned with the Seahawks the other day. I think it was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
1 year.
Years.
One.
Oh, it's 1 or 3.
4-year deal, 3-year voidable. So really, it's a 1-year deal.
1 year deal. Right. I forgot.
Goodell, like I said, he's gonna get rid of all this voidable.
Oh, this is going. Everybody's gonna use it as much as possible because next year they know this is over.
Yeah, just a reminder to all the fans. Today is Saturday. It is March 20th. So just
keeping in the realm of receiver free agency signings, though. Another one who he probably is also in that top 5 receivers. So maybe you could move Juju out or move Will Fuller out, whoever you want. I forgot Curtis Samuel.
Oh yeah.
Signed to the Washington football team 3 years for $34.5 million. So it's about 10 a year.
So it's scary. So Terry and Samuel, who used to play together in high school or college, is now playing for the same team now.
Yes, they shared a heartfelt message, and they said that they talked about it, when they were freshmen, that they were going to play together. So that's cool. Still don't like the quarterback situation all the way. I feel like Fitzpatrick is good for
6 games.
Man.
Yeah, something like that. He's gonna fizzle out at some point.
He's gonna give you good 6 games and the rest bad.
Man, that boy Fitzpatrick, every team that he goes on, he is at some point, it's inevitable, whether he is a backup. Well, basically, if he's a backup, he's gonna be a starter at some point. If he's a starter, he's eventually gonna give up the keys.
Listen,
whether that quarterback.
The Jets also signed wide receiver Keelan Cole, formerly of the Jaguars, deal for $5.5 million.
What about the Browns? Did we talk about that last time?
What have they done recently?
They signed the safety and the cornerback.
John Johnson.
I believe we touched on that on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then the cornerback Troy Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about both of those. Okay.
Kenyon Drake to the Raiders. I actually like that move because I like Drake as a spell. He tried to go be the one in Arizona. I don't think he's an every down back, but I think him and Josh Jacobs, I think that'll be a nice 1-2 punch.
Definitely works out of John Gruden's offense because he definitely likes running back who is a pass catcher.
Yeah.
Desmond Potts, cornerback, formerly of the Lions, signed with the Bears on a 1-year deal.
Solid.
And a former Cardinal, Patrick Peterson, is a Viking now.
That was shocking.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting him to go there.
Well, you gain something, you lose something. Vikings free agent safety Anthony Harris signed a 1-year deal with the Eagles. I guess that replaces Jalen Mills in a sense.
That's an upgrade for sure.
Philip Lindsay to the Texans. So at this point, they've signed 3 running. They got 4.
So in total, you got 4 running backs. You got David, Mark, Philip, and the other guy. Why so many running
crazy.
backs?
I don't know.
It's crazy that people are going there.
It's crazy how many running backs you have.
The combination.
It's crazy that people even want to go over there. To me, but
they're trying to just say, look. They're trying to Deshaun, look.
The Panthers have been making a lot of moves as far as defensively. Hassan Reddick is going over there for a 1-year deal, $8.5 million, which I believe how many sacks did he have last year?
That one I don't remember.
I know he balled out. I know he had.
Oh yeah. He had
like 4 in 1 game or something crazy like that.
Yeah. So. I think I forgot. I really forgot that number, but I know. But that was one of the spots I want him to go. So Carolina, they're young. He's young.
I mean, they went all defense in free agency, and then they went all defense in the draft last year. So they're trying to load up because they got Hassan Reddick. They got the defensive lineman from the Rams, Morgan Fox. Chargers linebacker from the U, Denzel Perriman, went to the Panthers as well. They just been loading up on the defensive side of the ball in both the draft and the draft last year, and then free agency. So seems like they're trying to get that identity. And I did have the spoiler that I said they were going to finish second in the NFC South, and I still stand by that. Vick probably will change his mind once they take quarterback in the draft. Well,
depends on what quarterback.
Justin Fields or
Fields?
Lance had a great pro day. I could see Lance go over there and shock some people. But Fields definitely will work too.
Phil had a great pro day too.
But overall,
we're going to see.
If I would say people who won the free agency,
obviously so far,
New England so far. The Cardinals have improved their team
dramatically.
I can't say the Bucks or the Chiefs because the Bucks didn't lose anybody per se. They just retained their
kept everybody.
They didn't really add anybody. The Chiefs, they revamped that O-line pretty quickly, which is crazy to me. So,
I mean, did they get tackles though? Like,
what happened?
Who did they get as a tackle? Because I seen guards. That was all. That was all that I seen that they signed. They didn't sign any tackles unless one of them can play tackle, but they're not. That's not the reputation of those players.
Did they get one guy from?
They made two big signings, but
because they released their center,
and
they released both their left and right tackles. So like I seen that they signed two. Actually, I seen they signed three guards. Unless one of them can play center, then different story. They definitely filled up the interior of the offensive line, but the exterior, the left tackle and right tackle, that's the only thing that I haven't seen them do. Unless they have somebody that we don't know about.
Yeah.
Responsibility though. But I know that one offensive lineman, I don't know if I'm pretty sure he's a guard, but if he's a tackle, then great. Then they just have to worry about left or right tackle, whichever one that he doesn't play. Or the one that was a doctor that opted out.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's a tackle. I think he was a guard, but either way, I mean, that's four guards if that's the case. But if one of them can play tackle or two of them can play tackle and they have a center or somebody, I don't know, if they have somebody to actually, they can't have anybody in the woodworks because if they had somebody already, they would have already started them in the Super Bowl, but obviously they didn't. So, but I mean, I'm sure they probably might address that in the draft, potentially.
Wish they got time.
Well, Spencer, Isaiah, Wilson, that was short-lived. I thought that would have been potentially a steal, and we were talking about how him and Brian Flores went to the same, high school, and maybe he could help, get this kid together. But that was short-lived. The Dolphins have already released him. Like I said, it doesn't hurt us because we swapped 7th round picks, and you thought you stole a 1st round draft pick, but apparently this kid's he's not trying to play football. Apparently, at this point, there's some video that went viral of him. He also was late for his physical with the Dolphins. He was late for his team orientation. He skipped 2 optional workouts that he had said that he was going to attend. So, yeah, at this point, the Dolphins just said, there's no fixing them. It's not even worth the headache. Just go ahead and cut them. We didn't overpay on anything. Literally just swapped 7th-round picks for next year's for this year. So we don't have a 7th this year, whatever. So that kind of tells me, though, now the draft might change a little bit. You might still want to go tackle now.
Yeah, because I might steal that boy Penei Sewell.
Yeah. Well, I thought for sure once we picked him up that we were gonna go receiver.
Receiver, right?
But maybe you like the idea of Parker and Will Fuller. And I don't know. I still feel like you got to take a receiver.
I feel like you still got to take one.
That's
me.
Definitely.
I still want a receiver. I'm okay. I still want one.
You can always draft the lineman later.
And actually, just as of 40 minutes ago, I know it was talked about, but the Bears have now officially released Kyle Fuller, the cornerback.
Oh, okay, so he's
now since we said that, on to Kyle Fuller, he just agreed to a deal with the Denver Broncos.
Well, that was quick. I guess he wasn't without a home that quick.
Yeah, this was reported about 10 minutes ago, 5:43. It's 5:54 at the moment, so 11 minutes ago.
All right, but at this point, with that said, we can go ahead and segue over to the next topic in Big Blue and the New York Giants and their offseason needs.